I saw that yawn. Remember to introduce the kiddos. The other one. All right, Maestro. Let's hit it.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
We begin our service on page 128 of Mishkan Tefillah. Hinei Matov, how good it is to be together.
You guys want the slicer?
How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. Shalom aleichem, salam aleikum. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. How good it is, how sweet it is to be together on this day. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad. Hinei matov umanayim shevet achim gam yachad.
We turn to the top of page 124, 124, and please join me in this reading. We enter the sanctuary to welcome Shabbat. Within these walls, we sit surrounded by numberless generations. Our ancestors built the synagogue as a visible sign of God's presence in their midst. Throughout our long history and our endless wanderings, it has endured, a beacon of truth, love, and justice for all humanity. Its presence guided our ancestors to lives of righteousness, holding up to them a vision of the truest selves. Now we, in our turn, come into this sanctuary to affirm the sacredness of our lives. May we enter this place in peace. May holiness wrap around us as we cross its threshold. Weariness, doubt, the flaws within our human hearts, the harshness of the weak, let these drop away at the door. In the brightness of Shabbat, let peace settle upon us as we lift our hearts in prayers. We turn to page 120 for Shabbat candlelight blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav metzivanu lehatlik ner shel Shabbat.
For those who are able, we rise together for our Kiddush 123.
Tonight we are doing a bit of a different melody for Kiddush. This is by Samuel Allman. Grew up in Russia, studied at Odessa and Kishinev, and made his way to England, where he became the most prolific English synagogue music composer, and we use his work tonight. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei peri hagafen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav berat savanu בשבת קודשו באהבה וברצון הנחילנו זיכרון למעשי בראשית כי הוא יום תחילה למקראי קודש זכר ליציאת מצרים כיוונו בחרתם ואותנו קידשתם מכל העמים בשבת קודשך באהבה וברצון הנחלתנו ברוך אתה אדוני מקדש השמיים Chaim.
Please be seated. That was beautiful. The top of page 127. There are days we seek things for ourselves and measure failure by what we do not gain. On Shabbat, we seek not to acquire, but to share. There are days we exploit nature as if it were a horn of plenty that can never be exhausted. On Shabbat, we stand and wonder before the mystery of creation. There are days when we act and we care nothing for the rights of others. On Shabbat, we remember that justice is our duty and a better world our goal. So we embrace Shabbat, day of rest, day of wonder, and day of peace. We turn to page 130 with Psalm 95.
לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה, לכו נרננה לאדוני. נריה, נריה לצור אישנו, נקדמה פניו בתודה. נריה, נריה לצור אישנו, izmirot narialo lechuneranena 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 ladonai lechuneranena 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 ladonai.
We continue with Romamu on page 35, 135.
רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. כי קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. קדוש אדוני אלוהינו רוממו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו. רוממו אדוני אלוהינו והשתחוו להר קודשו.
We continue with Lechado D 138.
Yalla la 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 לכאן דודי, יאללה la 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 לקראת כלה. יאללה la 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלם. לכאן דודי, יאללה la 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 לקראת כלה. יאללה la 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 בני שבת, בני שבת נקבלם. שמור וזכור בדיבור אחד, השמיענו אל המיוחד. אדוני אחד ושמו אחד, לשם ולתפארת ולתהילה. יאללה לכאן דודי, יאללה יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה לקראת שבת לכו ונלכה כי מקור הברכה מראש מקדם נסוכה סוף מעשה במחשבה תחילה יאי די די יאללה לה 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 לכאן דודי יאי די די יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה התעוררי כי באורך ומאורי אורי שיר דברי כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה יאי די די יאללה לה 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 לכאן דודי יאי די די יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה
Together to greet Shabbat Hel Malka.
בואי ושלום עטרת פלה גם בשמחה ובצהלה תוך אמוני עם סגולה בואי חלה יאי די די יאללה לה 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 לכאן דודי יאי לי לי יאללה לה 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 לקראת כלה יאללה לה 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 פני שבת נקבלה
The bottom of page 145. Teach me, O God, a blessing, a prayer on the mystery of a withered leaf, unripened fruit so fair, on the freedom to see descents, to breathe, to know, to hope, to despair. Teach my lips a blessing, a hymn of praise, as each morning and night you renew your days. Lest my day be today as the one before, lest routine set my ways. We continue with our Chetzi Kaddish right there, 144.
יתגדל ויתקדש שם רבה בעלמא תברח חירותי וימליך מלכותי בחייכון ובימיכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל בגלה ובזמן קריב מאמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעלם ולעלמי עלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לאלה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה ושפכתה ונחמתה תמירן בעלמם ואמרו Amen.
We rise together, 146.
Am I awake? Am I prepared? Are you listening to my prayer? Can you hear my voice? Can you understand? Am I awake? Am I prepared? Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da, yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da. Baruchu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam ba'ed, le'olam ba'ed. Yada-da-da-da, 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 yada-da-da-da,
Read together the top of page 149. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way in which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise you, Adonai, our God, for whom the evening flows. Baruch Atah Adonai, Ha'ma'ariv Aravim, on the next page.
Ahavat olam, Beit Yisrael, Amcha ahavta, Amcha ahavta. Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadta, otanu limadta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu uvkumeinu nasiach mechukecha ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו באורך ימינו, ובהם נחכה יומם בלילה, נחכה יומם בלילה. ואהבתך אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Ba'ed.
We were going to include a second melody special to this service. One of my favorite teachers and cantors at the seminary that I attended, HUC, died about a year ago, and he composed this version of Ve'ahavta.
Adonai Elohecha bechol levavcha ubechol nafshecha ubechol meotecha behayu hadvarim haele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavcha neshinantam levanecha medibarta bam v'shivtecha beveitecha ublechtecha materech u'shokbecha uvekumecha וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך.
We read together at the top of page 157. Standing on the parted shores of history, we still believe it we were taught before ever we stood at Sinai's foot, that wherever we go it is eternally Egypt. There is a better place, the promised land. The winding way to that promise passes through the wilderness, that there's no way to get from here to there except by joining hands, marching together. Our song of freedom, our Michamocha 158.
מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש, מי כמוך באלים אדוני, מי כמוך נדר בקודש. נורא תהילות עושי פלא, נורא תהילות עושי פלא, אדוני מלוך לעולם בעת. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקע ים לפני משה ומרים זה אלי אנו ואמרו זה אלי אנו ואמרו אדוני מלוך לעולם בעד די 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 Yai da 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 Yai da 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 Yai da 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 da
The top of page 161, and please join me. Let there be love and understanding among us. Let peace and friendship be our shelter from life's storms. Adonai, help us to walk with good companions, to live with hope in our hearts and eternity in our thoughts, that we may lie down in peace and rise up, waiting to do your will. Our Hashkivenu 160.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu leshalom Mehamidenu shomreinu lechaim Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu Shalom Mehamidenu Shomreinu Lechaim Ufaros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Ushmor Tzeteinu Uboeinu Ufaros Aleinu Sukat Shlomecha Ushmor Tzeteinu Uboeinu Baruch Atah Adonai Haporei Sukat Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol amo Yisrael ve'al Yerushalayim
The top of page 163. We are a people in whom the past endures, in whom the present is inconceivable without moments gone by. The Exodus lasted a moment enduring forever. What happened once upon a time happens all the time. Our Vishamru 162.
Vishameru b'nei Yisrael et HaShabbat לעשות את השבת לתורותם ברית עולם ביני ובין בני ישראל אותי לעולם לעולם כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ וביום השביעי שבת ויהי נפש.
The middle of page 165. Prayer invites God's presence to suffuse our spirits, God's will to prevail in our lives. Prayer may not bring water to parched fields, nor mend a broken bridge, nor rebuild a ruined city. But prayer can water an arid soul, mend a broken heart, rebuild a weakened will. And for those who are able, we rise together for our Tefillah 166.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak v'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel v'Elohei Leah, האל הגדול הגיבור מהנורא, אל עליון, גומל חסדים טובים וקונה הכל, וסוחר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. Baruch atah Adonai, Magid Abraham Bezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor leolam Adonai, Mechayei metim atah Rav lehoshia. Mashiv haruach umorid hagashem, Mechalkel chaim bechesed, Mechayei metim berachamim rabim, Somech noflim berofei cholim, Umatir asurim, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות מתים. Baruch atah Adonai, mechayei hametim. Atah kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, ukedoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah. Baruch atah Adonai, ha'el hakadosh.
We continue together at the top of page 173, and join me. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh HaShabbat. We continue on the next page with our Ritzeh.
Ritzeh Adonai Eloheinu be'amcha Yisrael. Tamid avodat Yisrael, Yisrael Amecha, El karov lechol kore'af enei elafatecha bechonenu, shefach ruchacha aleinu. ותחזינה עינינו בשובך לציון. Let's see.
179, and please join me. Grant us peace, your most precious gift, O eternal source of peace, and give us the will to proclaim its message to all the peoples of the earth. Bless our country as a safeguard of peace, its advocate among the nations. Make a tepid reign within our borders, health and happiness within our homes. Strengthen the bonds of friendship and fellowship among all the inhabitants of every land. Plant virtue in every soul, and may the love of your name hallow every home and every heart. Praise are you, Eternal One, who blesses our people with peace.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki ata hu melech adon lechol hashalom. Betov beinecha levarech et amcha Yisrael bechol עת ובכל שעה בשלומך. ברוך אתה אדוני המברך את עמו ישראל בשלום.
We take a few moments for silent meditation.
יהיו רצון אמרי פי, יהיו רצון אמרי פי, והגיון ליבי לפניך, אדוני צורי וגואלי. Oh, may the words of my mouth, the meditation of my heart be acceptable before you, O God, my rock and my redeemer. Oseh shalom bimromav, uyaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imeru, ve'imeru.
At this moment in our service, we think of those in our community, those who need of healing of body or spirit. We especially think of Linda Applebaum, Margaret Bell, Harold Seitlin, Deborah Chargois, Orit Cohen, Karen Edwards, Bruce Fleissig, Edward Goldberg, Jeffrey Goldman, Sandra Goldman, Miriam Goldstein, Josie Hatfield, Emily Held, Evelyn Held, Donald Himmel, Ralph Holtzman, Corey Kessler, Bart Kolber, Jerry Lapidus, Rush Lishkoff, Debbie Newborn, Marlene Meyerson, Zane Monlick, Susan Schumann, Leslie Simon, Chrissy St. Charles, Don St. Charles, Brenda Weinstein, Carol Wright, and Edgar Zimmerman. For those with us this evening, if you are thinking of a loved one or a friend, someone who means so much to you, who's in need of healing of body or spirit, we invite you to share that name as my eyes meet yours. For those names mentioned out loud and for those names that are still in our hearts, our Misha Berach, something special tonight, heal us now.
Rifa'enu Adonai v'nei Rafael, Hoshienu v'nivashea, El karov lechol korav, ach karov lireyav isho. We pray for healing of the body. We pray for healing of the soul, for strength of flesh and mind and spirit. We pray once again to be whole. El Narifana, oh please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh urefuat ha-guf, refuah shelema. El Narifana, oh please heal us now. Refuat ha-nefesh urefuat ha-guf, refuah shlema. Heal us now. Heal us now. Heal us now.
Jerry, I want to make sure. Can you hear me? I'm going to come down. I'm going to come down. I'm right here. This night is a celebration of you. I want you to be able to hear me. Is this good? You got it. Okay. So I want the congregation to know that my first month here, I got a voicemail from you, Mr. Jerry Lapidus. In your genteel southern voice, which I shall not imitate, I want to keep my job. You wanted me to call you back because you had a question for me. I called you back. Rabbi, it's Jerry Lapidus. Is there any way you can find a recording of Rabbi Grafman reading, "Grant us peace, thy most precious gift, O eternal source of peace," with the organ? And you said the way that Rabbi Grafman spoke with the bima with this reading meant so much to you, especially with the pipes. And I said, I can meet you halfway. Every single time now when we read "Grant us peace" with the piano, it is forever known as a Lapidus "Grant us peace." But as I got to know you, we both feel we have a great bond. We are both once avid tennis players, both collegiate tennis players, both played number one. You had a lot more wins than me, but we're both retired now. But there's something about you that I want this congregation to know. That even with Jerry's obstacles that he faces with his health, every single time I call him, the first thing that he does is he asks about my family. For those who know Jerry, I know I see Mooch and the Fox, we can get all the nicknames. How many times have you called Jerry Lapidus and the first thing he wants to know is how the family is doing? And then after that, you ask me, how are the kids doing and my wife? And finally, are we happy here in Birmingham? You have this incredible empathic spirit to you that I want our community, all of our congregation, for those watching at home, to know that you are a good Mishema, that you are a good soul. And I remember the time when I was being installed, which seems forever ago. You were celebrating your 90th birthday, I believe, at Pine Tree. And you felt so bad, it happened to be on the same night, Friday night. You called me to apologize, wishing me mazel tov and a long career. But I said, enjoy your 90th birthday. That's way more important. But you called and wanted to let me know. That speaks volume for who you are. This place, Temple Emanu-El, is incredibly important to you. I know I'm not Rabbi Grafman. I don't have that voice. But I want to promise you that the clergy, the team, the staff, we will make sure that Rabbi Grafman's house endures, because this place, your Judaism, is so important. And when we met with you and you made this most incredible donation to this synagogue, it's at this moment that we knew that because of Jerry Lapidus, this place will be secure financially for years to come. In a world of so much uncertainty, that simple yes gave us that certainty that this temple family wanted to have. In our Torah portion, Tzav, it's a tough one to find meaning. It's about the ordination of our priestly responsibility, something we as Reformed Jews, we're not so much into anymore. But there's one teaching by the Or Chaim, a famous rabbi in the 16th century and 17th century. He came from Morocco and he came also from Jerusalem. And it talks about those who made donations with the idea of those priests who made sacrifices on Israel's behalf. And this teaching, I think, best fits Jerry Lapidus. The Or Chaim teaches us that the priestly offering entails that financial sacrifice is a daily, continual offering. But this sacrifice is not limited to the Kohanim, but it must involve the entire nation of Israel. Our rabbis teach us that those who help fund the study of Torah will endure those who actually study it. You're a Gittim Shema, you're a good soul. Even with every obstacle that you face, you give it your all to try to be here every Friday night. And now we want to bless you in front of your temple community. This place has been your home, and you're making it a home for so many people. I ask the congregation to rise, and Cantor Whitner has prepared something special.
Please be seated.
And I should probably add that from this day forward, every time we celebrate something in our atrium, it will be known as the Lapidus Atrium, especially in memory of your Besheret, your Lil. We ask the congregation to rise once more. Robbie jumped the gun. Aleinu 586.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, דלא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. אנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ. ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
There are stars up above so far away we only see their light long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with the people that we love, their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us as we live our days. These are the ways that we remember. On this Shabbat, we recall the yortzites of J. Theodore Ted Abrams, Henry Eisenman, Jack Joel Altmark, Jean Boehm, Rita Jean Barish, Simon Black, Samuel Bornstein, Alice Ida Berdowski, Reva Bry, Mary Champion, Aileen R. Chapman, Captain Alan Clark, Arnold Cogan, Samuel Cohn, Thelma Cook, Arnold Cotton, Lucille Zeldin Cotton, Phyllis Crandell, Robert Deegan, Robert Harold Dyer Smith, Coleman T. Estrat, Ralph Etheridge, George Feldman, Louis Fox, Esther Rubin Goldblatt, Samuel Goldstein, Irving Zuli Harris, Sam Hartman, Joseph Hirsch, Gerald Jacobson, Jacob Kaufman, Clara Kaufman, Robert Kernan, Matthew Kernan, Flora Kloutman, Jacob Kloutman, Harry Kolber, Lillian Lapidus. Tessa Levinson, Molly Levin, Elizabeth Manson, Norman Mendelsohn, Charles Meinheit, Celia Milstein Oppenheim, Leonard Petrovsky, Isidore Pizitz, Rose Pips, Wilma Robinson, Robert Meyer Teddy Rubin, Edward G. Rosenthal, Hannah Schulman, Jerry K. Seaton, Samuel A. Shapiro, Rose Simpkin, Lawrence Simpson, Frida Spivak, Anna Block Stelmer, Julius Stein, Mimi Swid, Sam Vittem, Marcus Swiel, Jeanette Weinberg, Florence Wolf, Martha Kaufman-Wolf, and June Wolin. Our heartfelt condolences in the recent passing of Terry Aronoff, mother of Hillary and grandmother of Harris, Ainsley, and Schuyler, Jackie Blue, aunt of Judith Denson, Dr. Charlie Brown, father of Ellen Stein, Larry Stephen Cohn, uncle of Danny Cohn and great-uncle of Nora Miller Cohn, and Sissy Held, wife of Leonard, mother of Jerry Karen Allen, grandmother of Brian Held, Elisa Nelson, Lane Held, and great-grandmother of Ree Nelson, Morgan Nelson, Alexa Nelson, and Jace Held. We rise together as a united congregation for our mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'ikadash shemei rabbah, Yomad yivrach rotei v'amlich malchutei, B'chayachon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dekol Beit Yisrael, B'agalah v'zman kariv v'yamru,
Amen.
Yehei shemei rabbah mevarach le'olam halamei almayah, Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh, V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei dekudsha,
Barichu.
Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Damin Ram Be'alma V'yamru Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'akol Yisrael, V'yamru Amen. Osei Shalom B'imromav, Hu Yaseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'akol Yisrael, V'yamru Amen.
Amen.
Ose shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom, aleinu
There was a wonderful cantor and composer, a man named Emanuel Kirshner. I did my thesis about him, and you have heard plenty of his music, mostly in the course of the high holidays. We will be doing a piece called Se'u Sha'arim, Open the Gates, for our concluding song as a celebration of this congregation's continuance and Jerry. Thank you to our quartet. That is not meant for 4 people. And please join us in the Lapidus Atrium for an oneg. Shabbat Shalom.